Hello, hello. Welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Vampire the Masquerade, Burn It Down. I am your storyteller, Scott, and these are my lovely players. You're muted.
Sorry, I accidentally hit the mute button on my headset. Hi, everyone. I'm McKenna. I play Cadence, the manic pixie trash goblin Gangrel, who is here to probably punch someone in the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. I'm James Davey. I will be playing Alex DJ Second Sight Mars, your resident trance and house DJ, who is definitely sane.
100%.
Yeah, that little broken mirror on beside your name. That's what does that mean?
It means that I broke my mirror and I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, fair enough.
Hi, my name is Mo, and I'm going to be playing Willow tonight. And she is going to be in her beanbag getting work done.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start the game. We're gonna get back into the last arc for just a brief moment to bring Alex up to speed where Cadence and Willow are. When we left you last, you were in the Setites compound, Ministry's compound, and Willow left you because apparently she had something that she needed to take care of. However, whatever details Willow would have given to Alex, I'll leave up to Willow in terms of where she was going and what she was doing.
No, you know.
Okay, all right. So she just leaves you with the bad news.
Cool. Yes, definitely leave me hanging out with the Setites. That's not going to be a terrible idea.
Indeed.
It's fine.
But you guys were still there, presumably to actually speak with Sister Lynn, who had been on and off again, like expressing a desire to speak with you. Slash Madison wanted to talk to her, but you know the meet cute never manifested.
Yeah.
And it seems that meeting is going to get delayed once again, because not long after Willow left Alex, you were left in sort of the waiting study room with all sorts of arcane and historical art, as well as many creature comforts. A attendant comes in to let you know that someone has come looking for you. And if you would like to speak with, it is a known member of the Anarch movement by the name of Cleveland, who apparently has been sent to speak with you.
Oh, okay. Sure. Where's Cleveland? I'll go talk to Cleveland.
He's like, we'll have you meet him in the lobby.
Oh, okay.
And you're led down into sort of like this very nice, but very not very ornate, but sort of very nice and simple lobby area where Cleveland, the Gangrel, is there wearing his ratty-ass Vietnam-era army jacket and his flannel shirt and his ratty jeans. And his style is totally not based off of me in high school. But anyway, he says like, hey, Alex, how's it going, man?
It's good, man. How are you?
Been better. I actually need to bring you over to Dead Channel. Baron wants to talk with you.
What? The Baron wants to talk to me?
Yeah, well, I mean, he wants to talk to all y'all, but you're the one I could find. I'm not sure where everyone is, and he's kind of breathing down my neck about it.
No, all right.
All right, cool, man, cool. My Uber's gonna get here in like 5.
Or we could just take one of my cars if you want.
Cool. Yeah, sure. You got a car here? Cool.
I'll summon a driver.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're like, okay. He like cancels his Uber. So hanging out with the ministry, huh?
Not really so much hanging out. Just.
I mean, they're cool guys, They're new to the movement, but
great drugs, really. Some sort of. I don't fully understand what the politically minded among my pack. He doesn't say pack. I don't really understand what the politically minded amongst my gang really are ever doing. So I'm just kind of hanging out, looking at cool art.
Great. So, yeah, I mean, you know what? Sure, I'm sure the Baron's going to have a lovely chat with you. That's not my department. Your driver shows up shortly afterwards, and you know the way to Jet Channel. Obviously, so does Cleveland. So the drive from Vinings to Chambly isn't too terribly far, but you mainly pass it in companionable silence, and you eventually make your way to the club. Dead Channel, once again, I've described it as the first chapter of Neuromancer made real. And it is all bedecked in its shabby cyberpunk glory. There's not many people you recognize in the club tonight. It is a Monday night, so not the best time.
Smart.
But you're led to the elevator that leads down into the subterranean part of the club that is sort of the head office of the Anarch movement in Atlanta.
Okay, that doesn't sound creepy at all. I'll be fine.
No, I mean, you've been here a couple times. It's
Is this where we met him originally?
This is where you met him originally.
Okay.
This is, for lack of a better word, the Anarch Elysium.
Okay. So I feel safe here.
It feels safe here. It feels like it doesn't have all the fancy trappings and those weird pre-Camarilla rituals that sanctify it as an Elysium. But your beast recognizes it as a place that is fundamentally hallowed.
Okay.
And if one were to do terrible violence here, there would be serious consequences.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, you're let in. It is your average. It looks combination office and volunteer center. There's cubicles. There's lots of whiteboards and poster boards. People doing a lot of logistical work, organizing the go-betweens between the various gangs. There's maps of the city up on various boards, maps of various districts. Maybe about a half dozen are in the office tonight. But Cleveland leads you all through that and into the Baron's office, which it is the like of any corner office of a manager in an office building. It's not a lot of frills, not a lot of attempts to make it look more than what it is.
Okay.
But he leads you in. Baron Tran is currently on the phone speaking in Vietnamese to someone. Tran is, as I've described him before, middle-aged Vietnamese man, bald, with a very slight goatee, usually wearing a small pair of sunglasses, vest, dress-up, button-up shirt, and a decent pair of slacks is generally what he rocks. But he finishes his conversation, sort of motions for Cleveland to vacate the room, and then sort of fully turns his attention to you.
Okay.
Alex.
Baron Tran.
I don't have time for a lot of bullshit tonight, Alex.
Oh, that's too bad.
I hate to disappoint. And he sits down and indicates that you should take a seat.
Well, Alex will sit.
All right, so I'm going to cut to it. Where the fuck is Madison?
That's a great question, and I wish I knew the answer to it.
I have received reports from my various loyal agents that you and the East Street boys took it upon yourself to wipe out some Sabat motherfucker.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. You should have been there.
If I had been invited, I just might have.
It was a complicated set of situations, but it was what was best for the Atlanta.
You're getting absolutely no complaints from me as far as
Right on.
that's concerned. But I also have heard that Madison did not leave with the rest of the Anarchs. So, like I said, I have zero time for any bullshit tonight.
Sure. I mean, if I had some bullshit to trade with you, I would probably try it. The answer is that I don't know. We are just as confused as everyone else. He was there, he was with us, and then he wasn't. And as ridiculous and confusing as that sounds to you, I promise it is more so to us.
So you don't know anything. He just
I don't.
Disappeared.
He, for all intents and purposes, just vanished. He was there. Nobody saw him leave. I don't know where he... the thing about Madison is, look, I'm not offended when I know the truth of the matter. And the truth of the matter here is that Madison has always been smarter than me. So I don't know what exactly it is that he's up to. I assume if he's up to it, though, it must be important. We know he's not dead.
How do you know that?
Well, I don't know. I guess we don't know for sure, but I feel like I don't know how to say this politically. There are people that would feel it if he were dead.
I'm going to make a roll for him. If you would like to roll any manipulation subterfuge to make that particularly vague,
I will
allow it.
Before I do that, could you clarify something so I make sure that Alex
Sure.
even said that?
Mhm.
In V5, do you know if somebody you're bloodbound to dies?
I will say yes. You do know. You do feel the blood bond break when someone dies.
Okay. So that is what I intended to say.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't have a terrible roll at this.
I believe in you.
I believe in me too.
And if all else fails, just fall back on, well, I'm a Malkavian. I would know.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 successes. I bet that wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to let it slide.
Okay, cool. Thanks,
now,
God.
Now, a quick question for James.
Yeah.
Is either Alex or you forgetting that Ileana said that she saw him go through the mirror?
Oh, no, I'm not forgetting it. I'm just not telling Tran that.
Okay, you're not telling Tran that. All right, then I am going to let that roll ride and cover that as well then.
Okay.
This is like... He kind of sits and rubs the bridge of his nose for a bit, and he says, "Alex, I know that you and I got off on a wrong foot.
I thought you were cool.
He's like, "Yeah, but I didn't think you were cool." You
Well,
can
that hurts my
understand
feelings.
you can understand my trepidation, given where you came from.
Sure.
But in the past year or so, I have heard nothing bad and a fair number of good things. So I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong.
Well, I appreciate that.
So I definitely want to clear the air. Madison is, if you're saying you can know whether he's dead or not, and don't say he's dead, Madison's very connected to the movement.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are going to be asking questions, not just in this city, but people who I have regular contact with.
Good.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, he has something of a reputation. He did a great job dealing with all those Dustborn, that flooded our border last December. So, yeah, we're worried about him. And if there's anything that you can tell me, or if you find out anything else, I'd like to know.
And I'll keep you in the loop. As far as people who might come looking and want answers, look, we do too. If they think they can help us find our gang member, then we want that. You know, he's dear to us. Mm-hmm. Apart from him being useful, he's my friend.
It's good to have friends. Speaking of which, he, like you said, he's very smart. He's very capable. He had his hands in a lot of pies. Are you guys going to need anything in the intro?
I don't know that I know the answer to that yet. Give us some time to sort of go through what we've got, what has happened, and figure some things out. But, as we are anarchs of good standing, and as you are our baron, you know that we will come to you if there's anything that we feel like we need.
Give me 1 second. I have to look something.
Guys. How much do you think he's buying it? I feel like he's buying it like 0.
Like 0%, but so
Yeah.
what's he going to do?
Got to keep up appearances.
Nothing. You should ask him if he had a good vacation. Motherfucker.
He looks on his desk and picks up a letter, sort of like absentmindedly, like he's turning his mind to other paperworks. He picks up a small letter opener, and then suddenly looks up at you. And I would like you to roll for me intelligence plus resolve, please.
Okay.
Smart
Here it
guy.
comes.
I am a smart guy. This is actually a pretty good roll for me.
I believe in you.
That doesn't mean that I'll do well on it, though.
There's always willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is always willpower. Let's.
Got
What was
this.
the one thing that fucking Madison told us not to do? Never be alone with Tran. Guess what we do literally a day after he disappears into a fucking...
I know,
Oh,
right?
I think
and
that
we
you-
send him alone with Tran.
I think that you need to understand that I forgot that.
Fair.
I got 5 successes.
Would you like to spend willpower?
I would, in fact, like to spend willpower.
Oh my god, come on.
All right. So let's re-roll those failures and make that 7 successes.
7 successes. Impressive. Not quite impressive enough.
Oh,
Fuck.
Bitch.
here it comes. Here comes the dominate.
He quickly slices his palm, puts it out for you, and says, "Drink."
Mm.
Cool. I drink and am not bloodbound.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, but he's not. So as soon as I realize what is happening here, I am going to
Wanna get a little
perform my ass off to make him think that I am totally under his thrall.
Before you do that, I need you to roll intelligence resolve again.
Okay, he's doing it again. This motherfucker right here.
Mm-hmm.
I only got 4 on that one. Ooh, he's got damn good dominate rolls.
Yeah, he does.
Listen,
How many did you get?
I got 4.
Would you like to
you
spend
don't
willpower?
become a Venture Baron without having good dominate rolls, my friend.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to do the
Okay.
hold on just 1 second. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I might be able to pull out here, but there's not. So I'll go ahead and
Do you have any dice left from the pool from your special ball duty?
No, I used them all during the fight.
During the fight, okay.
Make that a total of 6 successes.
That is enough. He looks into your eyes and says, "Forget that happened."
I drool for a second, and
Now is where the performance rolls comes in.
I perform my ass off, and I have a very good performance roll. So manipulation
Not like
plus
that's your
performance.
whole profession or
That is
anything.
manipulation plus performance.
All right, and let's see here. Holy shit! That's 7 successes.
He puts the letter down. You can sort of see the wound on his palm heal up. And then he settles back into his chair. With a practiced demeanor, you can see. And then he kind of says, Alex,
Yeah.
are you still with us? You kind of zoned out there for a second.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That happens to me sometimes. I hear the music. It gets in me. I apologize. I didn't mean to be rude.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I understand. You have your issues. It's fine. But you're an asset to the movement, Mr. Mars.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
And I absolutely mean it. If there's anything you or your gang need, I'm here for you. The city is here for you.
I'll let them know that in this difficult time, it's good to know that we have allies.
Good. All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you. I'm sure you have business to attend to. And once again, if you hear anything about Madison, please let me know.
I will. Thank you, Baron. Truly, thank you.
All right. You are dismissed from the Baron's office.
Cool. I beeline directly to our haven.
Okay.
And I call these two.
Okay. So yeah, your driver is waiting, and you are able to. Who are you calling?
I'm gonna call Willow first.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, listen.
Well, one moment.
Okay. Oh shit, my bad.
That's okay. We're going to get back to Willow and Cadence real quick. So yeah, Willow and Cadence, you have basically just sort of wrapped up your conversation amongst yourself with Ileana as well regarding the revelations that you two had. And Willow, your phone rings with one of Alex's burner numbers.
1 second. Sorry. Hello, Alex.
Hey, Willow.
What's up?
Just as soon as you and Cadence can get back to the Haven, we need to talk.
I think we're at the Haven. What's up? Do you need me to come pick you up? What happened?
Oh, no. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Do me a favor.
Sure.
Do we have any reason to believe that we've been bugged again? Could you just do a sweep before I get there?
Sure. I can if you'd like.
That would be lovely. Thank you, dear.
Why? For what? Audio? What's happening?
Audio.
Sure. I can do that.
Oh, excellent. Cool. I'll be there soon.
Cool. Click. Well, that was a super ominous call from our best friend Alex.
You want to share with the class?
I'm gonna go to my trunk real fast. I'm gonna go get some. I'm gonna do a sweep for bugs.
If you an intelligence technology roll.
Yeah, he just insinuated that
We might have an infestation.
another one. I feel like that's not the case, but I mean,
Better safe than sorry. I mean, we already got one cockroach. We don't need another one.
hey, don't talk about him like that. I'm thinking about naming him. At this
Don't
point,
name it.
he's like my friend. 3.
3. You don't find any bugs.
No. That's super weird.
I mean, it takes you a little bit. This building is a bit larger than your previous one, but you mostly focus on your little speakeasy area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, by the time Alex shows up, you do not find any bugs, and you don't think there are any.
Hey, champ. What's up with why do you think we were bugged?
Well, I know for sure how Tran is doing it.
Doing what, Alex?
Controlling all the gang leaders.
Probably dominate. What else?
Blood bonds.
Oh, that feels right.
Yeah. He did it to me.
He got played. He got so played.
Love it.
What a fucking sucker he is, because he thinks that I'm bloodbound to him now, and he thinks that I don't remember because he tried to forget for mine as well.
That's beautiful. That's fucking beautiful.
Wait, so why is it that you made the conscious decision to go visit Tran, even though like one of the last things Madison asked us to do was not to go see him alone?
Because I wanted to know. I wanted to know what was up.
Okay.
And I found out. Now, we've suspected, I think, from the very beginning that he was dominating at least and likely blood bonding gang leaders.
Oh, yeah, that's why the anarchs in Atlanta are hardly anarchs. Yeah.
It was also told to me that you two will be summoned to him.
Cool. Yeah, that can't happen. I can't be alone with that. I'll tell you right now. I'll do whatever the fuck he says. I know myself.
Wait, okay, but... Okay.
Sure, but if he makes you drink, it won't work.
No, I mean, like, I'm very susceptible to...
So I go first. And you can go from there.
So here's what I think we need to discuss.
Can we, like, put a camera, like, in my hat, film him doing the thing?
Babe, do you want one, like, under your... Do you want, like, a microphone under your sternum?
Well, like, a microphone will only do so much if he words it a certain way, but if we get him on video...
Guys, there's one thing that I think there's another way.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Well, yes, as dead as fucking doornails, we kill him.
Oh, yeah.
But we do it in a way that protects our own interests. And what I mean by that is if we can get me into the room with every gang leader in Atlanta, I can break their blood bonds.
Just call a rant.
Like we can call a rant. I can't do it all. I can't do it in the same night. It's going to have to be over a few successive nights.
Yeah, because you gotta like
small ones.
You gotta drink their blood first, right?
I have to drink their blood, and then I have to have Cadence pummel me back into consciousness.
Point of order.
Yeah.
That ability is only effective once per story.
Oh, once per story? I thought it was once per story per person you were doing it to.
No, once per story.
Okay. But this is a new story, though, correct?
This is a new story, yes.
Okay. Let me rephrase. And what he actually said was, we need to find the biggest, meanest, baddest chance we've got to take Trent down and get me into a room with him so I can break his blood bond.
Nikki C?
You think it's Nikki C?
Wait, hold on. Wait, you're breaking whose blood bond? One more time. I'm sorry, I'm slow.
If we can find somebody that can help us take down Tren and break his blood bonds and get him on our side and let him know what has been done, we'll have a much better chance.
Honestly, I think that in terms of sheer muscle, Nikki C's probably the best bet we got. And, you know, if he realizes how he's been manipulated, I think he might take that as a extremely personal slight, as well he should. And I mean, I don't really know anyone else that well. I know he's got someone in the post-life women's collective, but they're not exactly, you know, big hitting muscle.
Ileana pokes her head out. She has a bottle of Windex in the hand and like a glob of paper towels. She says, "That all sounds super fucked up. How do you think it plays into the whole like parasite that causes you to run out?"
Oh, right, that thing.
What?
Okay, so I had fun while you were off pulling the wool over the Baron's eyes.
Yeah.
What?
So apparently, the cam is like putting evil spirits in people so that we drink their blood. It gets into us, and then at some point in I think June of next year,
Yeah.
they're gonna sprout out of us like fucking carnivorous mushrooms.
This year.
What?
Yeah, he's gonna genocide the fuck out of us. It's great. Oh, what a fucking power move, yeah?
Yeah, so
Just kill everybody? Oh.
I don't have one in me anymore. I don't know how I'm going to keep from getting another one, but I most certainly intend to look into this more. The wolves know something about it. Call them Banes. But I'm going to see if I can maybe get Reagan to help me with that, since she would actually be able to maybe do some spirit stuff, whereas we are limited in our capacity to touch that particular bit of supernatural fuckery.
Yeah.
We are all aware how absolutely insane what you just said sounds, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking bonk.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it just means like we have a hard time limit. So when I came to Atlanta, I thought that I was probably going to be here for like 4, 5, 6 years working to like, destabilize things. Saying that like I have to do it in June, like that's kind of a big order. I feel the stress.
Yeah. But,
That's what you feel distressed about? You don't feel distressed about mushrooms
dying?
erupting out of your skin?
Yeah, they like made us walk into the sun. It was.
There are worse go.
I don't love this.
No, I don't either, which is why I'm going to work on getting these out of us. But we were discussing how we could possibly use this knowledge to plant into the ears of some innocent, naive Camarilla whelp, and they spread it around there and they destabilize the Camarilla from the inside. Because if you think that, the higher ups in the Cam are going to protect like their cannon fodder from this type of thing, then I don't know which Camarilla you're talking about because they don't exist.
I mean, we just don't know. We don't have that much intelligence about it.
Yeah.
So can't make that call.
Ileana speaks up again. She comes into the room and she says, "So all the stuff you guys are saying, super concerning,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
and I'm super down to help you guys out. But I feel like I don't have like as complete a picture as I could."
All right, well,
Where do we even start?
So
do we have a whiteboard? We might need to make
you
flowcharts.
do have a whiteboard.
I have sticky notes and a whiteboard. 1 second, and Willow goes to her room to go get them.
So, at this point, I'm going to employ a bit of storyteller trickery and say that the coterie does, in fact, for the most part, give Ileana a rundown of the events of Atlanta, which allows me to then pull some more storyteller trickery and provide my players and the viewers a bit of a recap. So when you're done, she says, "Okay, let me get this straight.
Mhm.
I'm going to go back as far as I can form a timeline."
Okay, well, just look at the sticky notes up here, and I
She's
point
like-
to like the numbered notes.
Yeah, she's like, "Okay, and I'm going to fill this in with some stuff that I know that you guys might not."
Okay.
So what it sounds like is like way before we started having calendars, one of the Dark Mother's children who was apparently like seduced away from Enoch, either got exiled or fled the destruction of her garden, and came over to here, to the New World. And we think this guy is going by the name Lord Blackheart, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Mormonism.
Tentative. Yeah.
Cool. So he came down here to the south and set up whatever little fucking cult kingdom he did, and then probably went to Torpor, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Most likely.
And
Mhm.
then
Next one.
round the start of like colonization, these other old fucks set up shop, made some kind of deal with him,
Mm-hmm.
and like started calling themselves the Southern Lords, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's our baseline. So
Yes.
then time goes forward, the area gets developed, changes hands a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we've got the basic situation we have now, where the Sabbat took over,
Mm-hmm.
the Cam and the Anarchs teamed up, came in, pushed them down south of 20,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of set up kind of a two cities kind of scenario until the Convention of Prague, where the Cam and the Anarchs declared war on each other. Right? That's
Yeah,
kind of
man, you're
thing?
getting it. Yeah.
And then that made its way here, so then it was a big ass fucking four-way battle between the Cam, the Anarchs, the Sabbat, and Second Inquisition.
Mhm.
And then your boy, your fuckboy, Baron Tran, he got a bunch of Anarchs together, bound and like formed a truce with the Cam.
Mhm.
And so you've got like the political status quo where you guys aren't really together, but you're not really at each other's throat, and you work together on the Masquerade, and technically you're working together against the Sabat and Second Inquisition. Like that's the general thing. So then you guys are sent by the Anarch movement because there's rumors of shit going weird and things being too quiet and
the fact that Tran's a massive tool. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like that's what you guys were here to find.
Investigate.
Cool. So you guys come here. You guys are sponsored by some big players in the movement to come in and like see what's going on and try and push this thing closer to like a true free state kind of situation, right? That's like your big political goal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So you guys show up. You start poking around. You take some territory. You guys kind of make a deal with the Sabat, which like to like work against the Cam.
More yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I point to the sticky note where it has question marks on it.
No judgments. You know, I was Sabat until like 3 nights ago. Okay.
Fair.
So.
All right. Next sticky note.
So yeah, you guys kind of make a deal with them to work against the Cam, okay? And then you guys start poking around, figuring stuff out. This Lord Blackheart apparently is one of the ancestors of your boy Madison. You get yourselves your special Iron Claws Cadence. Which,
Yep.
You know, we had to talk about that. You guys came to me around that time. And we learned that your claws were gifted to you in something that you're being super cagey about. I respect it. It's fine. Really want to know. But apparently some avatar or manifestation of Lilith gifted you those.
Yeah.
And I was able to determine that they were gifted for a purpose, that they can kill Lord Blackheart. Like that's what they're there for.
That is what I have determined. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Conjecture.
He sounds like a dick.
He's crusty and he's old, so he might as well die anyway.
I mean, Methuselahs are bad, and if he was exiled from the garden, then fuck him. Okay, so that's that. And then you guys find out that the Cam is putting stuff in the food and in the water, and it's getting into the mortals. And like tonight, we find out what's up with that. That it's actually like some sort of parasite that's going to burst out of our chest. What do you say?
On June. Yeah. Oh, what was the exact date? Because I'm sure there's there's like 3 sticky notes that have the big letters of it.
You don't know specifically the date, but Ileana actually says, if I were to bet, I would say, and she like goes to a calendar and like puts a big red circle around the 20th, which is the summer solstice.
Ooh,
We're dealing with big time magic here, and you need the right time, the right place. I would put my money on the solstice.
Alex is just chuckling while you're saying this. He's just kind of giggling maniacally to himself.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, this situation is so damn
June
fucked.
20th. Wow. Love it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Also, Ileana, it goes without saying that if any of this leaves this room, we will hunt you down and behead you.
Oh, no, I'm on board. I'm down.
Good.
Whatever little merit badge you want to put on my chest or loyalty oath. I don't know how you anarchs do it. Obviously, we've got the cup, which apparently...
Should we do the cup?
Yeah, I mean, like, the Vauldery's cool. Like, if you guys want to keep doing that, I'm totally interested, because I don't like blood bonds, and I like drinking blood. She winks at you, Willow.
I mean, same.
He's like, okay, am I missing anything?
I feel like that's pretty good. We've recently lost Madison.
Yeah, Madison's fucked off, went into a mirror.
We have some favors from, let me see, Sasha Vikos over here. Big one for that.
That's cool.
big favor there. We really got to do something with that.
Ooh.
We have a major and a minor one from the ministry. That's pretty cool. Are there any other boons that we need to
No.
remember?
No.
Now, according to you guys, the ministry are down with your political stuff.
Yes.
And they know about trans bullshit too, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
You know,
I don't know that they know about the blood bonding.
They know that I think. As far as I remember, they suspect Dominate. I don't know if they get the blood bond.
Yeah, blood bonding is a whole new level of he has to die.
Well, I'm just gonna say, this might be the, Sabat from Sense 3 nights ago. Never trust the fucking snakes. But
Well, yeah. But
I mean, they do good. They do well on their favors. I can't lie. The men let me borrow a helicopter.
oh yeah, no, they'll give you everything you want, and then you'll be
A steep price. Yeah.
They'll find their way to fuck you with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're what we got, they're what we got.
Another reason I said we need to break Nikki C's blood bond first, because we know that he's going to be on the up and up.
I know that man by reputation. If you think he's got the Mickey on him and you can break it, by all means, he and I might have to have a talk because, well, things.
Okay, no. You what?
You know all our dirty
Hold on.
secrets.
Let me fill out another sticky note. What are the things, Ileana?
I was Sabat 3 nights ago, and he's a notorious Sabat killer.
He is though.
Right.
Right.
It's not super complicated. I didn't kill his
It's
mom.
so you don't have to meet the guy.
I mean, hey, if I'm Team Anarch, then fuck yeah.
Maybe you should.
Hold on a second, I'll be right back.
Sure.
So,
We'll discuss that if it becomes a thing that might need to happen.
I'm down. I'm easy. I'm easy breezy cover girl. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I did some looking up on those images that you sent me about the
Yeah.
mirror. They're, like I said, they're definitely Bahari-esque,
Mm-hmm.
but there's I don't know what it is. I definitely think that there's some sort of it's an offshoot. It's a branch. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have an orthodoxy, but this is not canon. This isn't part of the tradition.
That's-
ooh, a hair.
That's fine.
Yeah, heresy. If you want to call it
Okay.
that, sure, heresy.
Heresy among the heretics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say, if Blackheart is behind all of this, and if he's behind the parasite, which that does kind of track because part of the Dark Ages magic is all about life and plants and hell, fungus too. Sure, why not?
Yeah, something that you didn't. Just that I want to be clear on. We're 90% sure there's a cult to them in the upper echelons of the camp.
Yeah, why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
We've been saying this the whole time. Pawns of the Elders, Ancients, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is a thing designed to just wholesale slaughter kindred.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is proof that it's heresy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the big no-nos. You don't kill if you don't have to.
All right.
According to our beliefs.
Yeah, I got some other sources I'm going to look into who might have a little bit of a different perspective on it. So I'll run it by them and see what they say. I don't know if they're going to be willing to help, but who knows? I might be able to do them a favor. I don't know.
Cool. And as long as Ricardo's on the table here, 80% of why I'm down with you is because you're touched by the Dark Mother Cadence.
Yeah.
However that rolls out, I want to be here for that.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I don't want to be there for it. You want these? I would give them to you if I could.
I wouldn't dare. She gave them to you.
I know.
But if I
can't
could get some Gallagher splash damage on me, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so this is a pretty fucked up scenario, guys.
I know. Look at
We
this
know.
chessboard, isn't it wild?
Intimately. Fucking hell.
Not bad.
I just wanted to make cool music, but it's
Well-
not what's happening.
Mm,
Some shit's going down, guys.
I feel like we all had things that we would rather do rather than this.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. If we don't solve this by the solstice, then
We'll all
And
turn
we're
into
fucking
mushrooms.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there's, a couple months, and then we either solve it or we're dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, guys. Cool.
All right. Well, actually, GM, what time is it?
It's getting pretty late. It's not. You probably could do something else if you wanted to.
Okay.
Before dawn shows up, but nothing huge and extensive. Like if there's a task you want to accomplish before the sun rises, you have time
Okay.
for it.
All right. So Cadence gonna be like, well, all right. I got some stuff I got to hash out first before tomorrow. So let's all sleep on this, and we're not gonna get anything else done fucking tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's perfectly fair. She starts to pick up all the sticky notes and then throws them in the sink and runs water over them until they are mush.
It's a good plan. She's like, so this place is yours, right?
Yeah.
Well, Madison's technically. Who's gonna pay the fucking bills?
I'll figure it out. It's fine.
Well, let's.
I have
He
some money.
probably left it in his book.
She's
Ugh.
like, cool, not my bag. But yeah.
All right.
I mean, this place is ours, and you know what else I consider ours at this point? The roach in the wall. I kind of just
You keep bringing him up. It's
I-
weird. I don't know why you're doing that.
Yeah, can we just
no, I feel like an attachment. I feel like
you want to sleep
know.
in the roach room and give your room to Ileana?
no. I'm talking.
If you
about
want to
bringing
sleep in the roach room, we
out.
can make that happen.
No, I'll bring the roach out. It'll be funny.
Leave it
We
there.
can put
Please don't
we
do
can
that.
put him on a
I don't
chair.
want that.
No.
No.
No. No.
Nope. No.
Listen.
Point of order, guys. I know, like, this much blood sorcery.
Mhm.
Oh, you could do that thing.
I could,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we'd have to put some in him first for me to then take out, because he looks pretty dry.
Yeah, we can
I
do
mean,
that.
we should definitely make a date of waking him up. But
Well, I don't
first, like,
know.
I want.
I don't know
I like
about
what-
waking him up. Like, I need a little bit of his vitae, which means we need to put some blood in
Yeah.
that then can become his vitae.
Yeah.
I would
And it
suggest-
probably won't wake him up because we know we got to have some like
Yeah.
super potent juice.
It at least needs to be canine blood to wake
Yeah.
anybody up. That I know.
Right.
So, like, get some mortal stuff. I can figure out a little bit of what's going on with him, if you guys want.
Yeah. No,
That would actually be pretty sound trade off for staying the night.
I mean, Ileana's here now. She's like my friend.
Okay. Well, she can be your friend. I'm going to my room.
Okay, that's
Peace.
fair. Ileana, did you finish cleaning Did you finish cleaning all the mirrors?
But she was
She's
my
like,
friend.
yeah, they're all nice and shiny.
Thank you, Ileana.
You can be
It's
my friend. Too.
hazing.
We've been down for a while, Alex. I'm cool. Like,
Yeah.
I helped you get out. You helped me get out. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, we did help each other, didn't we?
hmm So
Mm.
now we're
What
both
else?
out.
Yeah, it's better out here or something, is what they said.
You know, for a while it was better in for people like me, even though it was pretty bad for people like me. But yeah, no, shit's going down. I don't know what the fuck is happening with the Sword of Cain.
It certainly isn't. It certainly is not the bill of goods that I was sold.
No shit. All right. Yeah, sun's coming up, guys. I'm like, I guess I'll bunk in Madison's room, or he comes over at Willow.
Oh, it's just so difficult to just give his room away.
Like,
But yeah, you can stay in his room.
she kind of like shrugs a little bit and says, "Cool, I'll make it my own."
I mean, like, don't move his stuff around. He could come back.
Fair. And port in a storm, I guess. And so she's like, "All right, I have to process and read some. So,
Go on.
night, guys."
Night.
Good night. Don't let the the bed bugs or whatever.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
there's a pretty big one right there.
Definitely don't let that one.
I am letting him out.
You're getting him
wish
out the hole?
Oh, yeah. Willow's going to prop him up in, like, a chair.
I really wish you wouldn't do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is a
She
thing. for
props
crazy
him up
person.
on one of, like, you know how I have, like, the bean bags?
Mhm.
I prop him up in one of them. So, like, anyone could go sit next to it.
They don't listen to me. They just don't. I tell them that it's a terrible idea to do that, and then they're just like, "Yeah, but we're gonna do it anyway." And then now we have a bug sitting in a chair. Okay. This is the
it
life that we live.
It just feels more...
Terrifying, horrible.
Yeah,
Crazy,
no,
crazy.
he is haunting to behold.
Oh, he's
But,
bad.
like-
He's real bad.
This
And that
is
is
like...
what you want.
I feel... I don't know. Like, is he a part of this now?
I mean, I will say, if you follow us on Twitter, Dee did do a really cool sketch of pretty much exactly what he looks like. So,
I haven't seen that one yet.
it was-
I will-
It was from a couple games ago. It's
All right.
All right. So the sun is going to rise, and we are going to take our break a little bit earlier than normal.
Mhm.
And when we come back, we're going to go into a bit of downtime mode while we handle a couple months worth of
Yeah.
not super intense action. So we will be right back with that. Thank you guys. We'll be back soon. Hello. Welcome back to Simulacra Studios presents Vampire the Masquerade Burn It Down. We are going to transition for the rest of this episode into very loose narrative, collaborative downtime. Because I believe in-game, we're leaving the game in mid to late September.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be picking up around the end of the year of 2019. So it's going to not quite bring us up to March of, it's actually not going to bring us up to March at all. It's going to be bringing us up to about the end of December when we get back into straight up role play. So, in late September, what is everyone's agenda? I'm going to start with Cadence. What's sort of the long-term stuff that you want to get started as this situation comes to a head, and you have all this information and status quo at your feet?
Okay. Sorry. All right. So she would like to send the images, and the symbol, or the images of the symbols on the mirror, to Reagan, and see if she is able to glean anything from them. She would also like to explain the situation with the Banes to Reagan and be like, "Listen, I know jack shit about spirits, but maybe someone does, and I understand that your people probably aren't going to be too keen to help my people, but it would do me a huge solid if your people could somewhat help my people. Also, I really don't want to die in the summer, so
Yeah,
yay."
you explain that situation to her. She's very concerned. She's definitely invested in not having that not happen.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, guys. She looks at the symbols that you give her, and she gets back to you after a couple of days, and she says, like, she doesn't have hard information, and she doesn't necessarily want to go spreading it around her people, given what you've told her about it and what it could imply. But she definitely does say that she feels some resonance with it, based off of the meditations that she's doing. They seem definitely connected to what she's been getting connected to.
Okay.
But she sort of she basically confirms what Ileana suspected, that whatever this is definitely connected to that sort of that ancient, dark garden vibe. But it's a couple it's a couple standard deviations away
Okay.
from sort of the more traditional not wholesome, but at least not super murdery version that sort of the mainline Lilith worship seems to be
Okay.
focused around. She does ask around. She says basically that the people that she thinks would best be suited would be called dream speakers, but there's not a real presence of them in Atlanta.
Okay.
She says it's. She kind of explains all of the awakened can. Some of them can dabble in that area, but they're the real experts.
Okay.
And she says, and they're flighty, and we don't have a really big presence here in Atlanta. It might take some doing to get in contact with them.
If you could work on it, that'd be awesome. We've got until June at the very least, so. And
yeah.
I'm not sure what I can offer in return, but I'm sure we could come to some agreement.
Yeah, she says she'll try. It might be a hard road because they're not around, and mages generally don't mesh well with leeches. She lets you know that in her meditations on this mother goddess avatar figure that she seems to be spiritually close to. She kind of gives you basically the rundown of what she thinks she needs to do to go down this path, and she tells you that she has the impression that a lot of it is waiting for the right time in the right place,
Okay.
and just being open and receptive to whatever it is that she wants to show her and teach her. But she definitely gets the impression that there will be a moment where things align, and she will be. If she is open and receptive and has, refined her own abilities enough, that she will be able to learn this miracle work.
Okay.
That is what this entity wishes to convey to her.
Okay.
So that's what she's gathered. She says it's not like there's a book that she can read and find out a lot about. It's just more about honing her intuition and being there for it.
Okay.
Okay, so that takes a little bit. Is there anything else that you would want to do sort of as a side project during the last couple weeks of September?
She would honestly probably spend a lot of time also with the E Street Boys and, trying to keep that relationship kosher.
Okay.
With the intent that hopefully at some point they'll be able to arrange something with Nikki C to break that blood bond. So she's, willing to do favors. She doesn't ask a lot of them, but she makes herself available if they require assistance.
That relationship is pretty easy to maintain. You definitely get the impression that with Madison gone, the stone in the boot is less of an issue. And that you think probably things can get back to normal pretty quickly. It'll just take a little bit of time, and you're doing exactly what you need to do that.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so Alex, last little bit of September, what takes up your time?
Well, he's got to get back into the studio, obviously. He's behind, so he's going to be doing some spinning, but he's also going to really be doing a lot of contemplation on where Madison is, how we might be able to save him. And he is going to be, as he's spinning, he's going to have a map put in his studio wall, and as he's spinning and as he starts to fall into those trances, he is going to do things like use premonition on that map while considering the whole situation with Tran and the Camarilla, and just basically see if he can intuit any plan or idea even.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you can dedicate a lot of your time to being in sort of a contemplative, open, receptive, oracular mode. Um, as far as Madison concerned, it takes you a little bit to kind of nail things down because you don't believe he's in the city anymore. Like you don't think he's on the continent anymore. But you eventually sort of settle into a feeling that wherever he is and whatever he's doing, he's fine. Like he's not in any particular danger, and while he's not necessarily in an ideal situation, it's a situation that he is more than capable of adapting to and profiting from.
Okay.
As far as your meditations on City and Tran, I would like for you to give me a premonition roll just to see how that goes in terms of general.
All right. 1 second, please.
Actually, I'm going to be asking you for a series of 3 rolls.
Okay. All right. The first roll, I got 2 successes.
2 successes, okay. So, you begin to contemplate this. And looking at the map, going over flowcharts and diagrams and everything, you understand, you believe you understand that this situation is pretty dire. Ever since this truce that was called, you're pretty sure, that you have a lot of images of spider webs and chessboards and chains all sort of draped over the city. You think that the Cam has pulled a pretty tight coup here. They definitely have put their stamp on the city, and you think that your sense is that while it definitely looks like, the Anarchs have the superior numbers, the Sabbat are on the back foot, you think the Cam has played a pretty strong hand here. And that's kind of your first approximation. The cards, the deck seems stacked against you, now that you know what you know and can intuit from there. Go ahead and give me that second roll.
All right. Second roll is 5 successes.
5 successes. So, that being said, as you're sort of contemplating the more mystical aspect of things, the Cam have got, the right people, blackmailed and bloodbound and dominated. They've got, probably have most of the mortal influence, wrapped up around their fingers. But they're playing with some pretty dark and pretty temperamental, ancient magic and sorcery. The type of sorcery that even House Tremere would have to spend a lot of time and energy getting right. You think they're playing with fire, which means you sense that at the heart of all of this, somewhere, there's a vulnerability. There's a weak point in this whole plan, and it's on the mystical axis. You can't see it, you don't know it, but you know it's there, just waiting to be turned and or shattered or twisted or somehow engaged with to turn this situation around. And go ahead and give me that last roll.
All right. Last
And let
roll.
me know what specifically you're focusing on with this last one.
Okay. I am trying to determine With this last one, I'm specifically focusing on seeing if I can sense a link between Tran and Blackheart. If Tran is part of that, or if he is just a douchebag that we can deal with later.
Okay.
And I've got 4 successes.
4 successes. You once again return to that image of the city, blanketed in webs and chains and chessboards. And you see, in the heart of Atlanta, in downtown, you see the White Queen. And she stands at the perfect center. She stands at the most strategic space. And then you cast your gaze over into the edges of the board, and you see the Black King. And you focus hard on the Black King. And you're able to see the little tiny patches where the paint didn't quite cover up the white underneath. And that is sort of the great revelation that you come to near the end of September. Now, was there anything non-psychedelic, more practical that you were spending your time in when you were not trancing out and tripping?
I'm using my scene influence to kind of get a better grasp on this area that our haven is in. I basically want to even throw some raves here, mini raves for smaller people, or not smaller people, but smaller groups of people, and I want to get people really comfortable here with the basic idea that there's always a few mortals around, just to make it somewhat difficult for, if the cam comes in, they're going to have to do anything here. They're going to have a masquerade problem on their hands.
Yeah, no, that's easy. That's easy enough to accomplish. Obviously, Madison had this area buttoned up tight.
Right, and I'm basically trying to grab a hold of what he had and in my own manner to reinforce it.
Obviously his influence is going to fade over time as he's not actively maintaining it, but you're able to grab, a handful of it and start rearranging it to your own ends. All right, Willow.
Hi.
As September ends, like the Green Day, as the Green Day song says, what's your project?
Okay. I know that there was 3 big things that she wants to do during the downtime. I think the first and foremost one is she wants to get a specialist on that Second Inquisition machine. Okay. Because that's something that'll take time. And so she wants to give that as much time to brew as she can. She'll fly dudes out. She does not care.
You had already started the wheels turning on that. So by around the end of September, you have your specialist.
Yeah, and he's working in a fucking secure facility. He can't take anything out of it. Yeah.
You have him basically on a short-term contract for a well-playing thing. This is your job, highest NDA, highest physical security you can manage. So you have your expert. That's not, you'd already gotten the wheels turning on that, so that's pretty easy to square away.
The next 2 things that she wanted to begin working on is, 1, she wants to wake up the bug because she has questions for the bug.
Sure.
And 2, she is going to begin surveillance on Tran because she wants to fucking kill him. So right now she is in the sort of observation stage of that. And so she will be essentially just sort of understanding the man's schedule, understanding what's going on, what does he do.
Okay.
Because she sure is fucking sick of being in Anarch territory where the Anarchs aren't fucking Anarchs.
Sure.
If this is a chessboard, she's fucking sick of not being able to access every single pawn on the fucking board.
You're gonna flip the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the fucking table.
Hold on. I need to look up a few things regarding the bug. Okay. So eventually you guys get a pack of blood into the bug. Let it stew for a bit, and Liliana does taste of blood on it, and she lets you know that this particular kindred is what she can determine is that he is of the 8th generation.
Okay.
He is definitely committed diablerie. Yeah, that's what you know. So you know that to wake someone up, you need someone of higher blood potency to do so.
It's not us, Chief.
Yeah, so getting your hands on that, she says she definitely says she says if you get someone good enough in blood sorcery, which is not her, you don't necessarily have to have someone of that generation to do it. But you can get someone of blood potency who can boost their own potency temporarily, which might be an avenue of doing that.
Of waking him up.
Yeah. But she says, yeah, that's no joke. That's pretty powerful blood.
I know.
So we need to be real careful when we wake this guy up. So
Yeah.
This is I don't know many Tremere or blood sorcerers or anyone who does that, so
Madison knew some.
yeah, but can you trust those guys?
No, of course not.
Cool.
If I show one of them like this is a bad scene. I've at this point put the bug in a Los Angeles Dodgers jersey.
Okay.
I'm just I didn't he was naked. I felt weird about it. I put clothes on him. He has the Dodgers jersey, an Angels hat. He's not naked anymore.
Okay.
If we're going to have this thing out, Cadence is going to insist that at least be sporting the right colors and switches us out for a Red Sox jersey.
All right. Nice.
We're gonna start a fight.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, as far as tracking Tran, I'm going to need you to make 3 rolls for me. All of them are going to be intelligence based. I want a streetwise investigation and a technology roll from you.
Okay, so we'll do these one at a time. So first one is streetwise. Luckily, I'm pretty okay here. Thank you. 4 successes.
Okay. So, yeah.
And the next one is what?
Investigation.
If it is the success with the stars by it, it's a critical, right?
There has to be 2 of them.
I do have 2 of them. So,
okay, so yeah,
that is
those 2
3?
successes become 4 successes.
Okay, 4 and then 1 more, so 5.
So 5 successes on the investigation. Okay,
And then, what is the last one?
technology.
Technology. That one is a little better.
Given how you do.
I don't know. Four.
Okay.
Pretty even.
Yeah, pretty even, pretty good. So, over the last couple weeks of September, you put the business to Tran.
Mm-hmm.
You get his patterns as best as you can. Obviously, there are times when you aren't able to, you don't perfectly track him, but you definitely tell that he is the king in his castle style. Dead Channel is his base of operations. He definitely has at least a haven there. He doesn't often leave it. but he does have a couple of places that he goes on the regular that you think might be places where he feeds, places where he has secondary havens.
If I even could ask Ileana, because she's a sneaky girl, right? That's like kind of what Ileana does.
She is a distracting girl.
She's a distracting
yeah.
girl. Okay.
She knows she is capable of obfuscate. She has strange abilities that allow her to craft illusions and mess with people's senses in more focused, direct ways. She can hide, but she's better at screwing with people's perceptions in a more direct way. I mean, she's down to help. But
what is his name? Tiny. Who's Tiny affiliated with? Is he part of Trans Crew, or is he sort of an independent?
Trans Crew. He's basically independent. He's generally he's not a part of any particular gang other than like the indisputable fact that the Nosferatu have their own thing going on. There's a thing that there's like a group of anarch Nosferatu who hang out to each other, but the Nosferatu as a whole, sometimes a Sabat shows up, sometimes a Cam shows up. You know how they do. So he's just more
sect
sort of
isn't as important.
It's not as important, but if he's affiliated with anyone, it's the general anarch Nosferatu group. But you can get in contact with him if you want.
I'm thinking about cashing in my my favor with him.
I mean, he's down for it.
For something more substantial, because that's also something he's information he can do that, and so I think I'll get a hold of Tiny for real this time.
With his help, and you cash in the favor. He definitely takes you up.
Let me check that off.
Good times. Yeah, so you are able to cooperate with him to sort of get as best of a lowdown as you can. Like I said, he mainly stays in Dead Channel. He has a couple other places that he goes to.
So then, he'd be pretty good for that then.
Yeah,
definitely.
And, he's the type of guy who has people come to him. That's generally his modus operandi. He does occasionally attend like sort of official truce-related functions with Camarilla members. Generally once a month. It's not a secret that he meets with the prince. Generally once a month, just to keep things on the level. But particularly with Tiny's assistance, you do identify a couple of instances where he meets with non-anarchs, to say the least, off the books. But so you have his patterns. You have where you think you can find him any given night.
Okay. Good.
So that takes care of that. So that's any other smaller project that you would want to take care of.
Let me think. I had my computer, had the bug, I had Tran. I'm taking care of I'm trying to get my Haven squared away. I've purchased it, everything's done, but right now it's being vampire proof.
Sure. Okay.
It's renovating a little bit before I move it.
Those wheels are turning. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as October starts, you guys are definitely starting to feel the pinch of Madison's absence. The financial wheels that he had spinning in your behalf start to go off the rails a little bit. His influence, you have contacts, you have people you can talk to, but they start to slip away from you. That seems to be definitely the pressure that you're feeling as October begins. So, we're going to go back to Cadence. As October begins, what do you do? What's your project?
October project. probably she would probably dip into more of the Bahari research.
Okay.
Just talk with Ileana a bit about it and, sort of suck up her general discomfort with this woman for the sake of being well informed.
Sure. Once you start, talking to her about that stuff, her demeanor towards you changes.
Okay.
She definitely seems to slip into teacher mode.
Great.
Whereas before you were rival sects and curiosities and annoyances to each other. Once you're actually asking her for information, she does lighten up.
Okay.
And she will explain to her that being a teacher is one of the duties handed down. That is how you're supposed to. That's one of the sacred tasks of being a Bahari. So she will definitely teach you. Is there any particular questions that you have, things that you would want to know in general or explore with
Well, she really is she wants to get as much of that symbology as she can, because, like you said, they're feeling Madison's absence, and she especially is sort of on edge without him there, because he's her bro, and she likes having him around, and now he's not around, and it stresses her out. So she's definitely going on full on you and I need to figure out how to reverse engineer this magic so that we can get my buddy back.
Right.
On a smaller level, she doesn't know if this is going to help at all, but she's probably taken to hunting specifically around bus stops that she knows come in from out of Atlanta to try and not get reinfected by the bane, just jump people before they have a chance to drink the water.
Gotcha. That is certainly a thing you can attempt. You have no easy way of confirming whether you're infected or not.
But at least she can say she tried.
You're given it the option. So yeah.
Yes.
As you talk through it, with Ileana and learn sort of the deeper mysteries of Bahari lore and magic, you think definitely a big pillar of whatever this is blood sorcery. That shit's older than the Tremere, no matter what they want to tell you. And so there's probably a lot of that carried up with, and she definitely lets you know that the mysteries of Lilith transcend the disciplines of the blood. If you get she's dabbled in a little bit of things, but she knows that there are elders of her faith that can do things that are outside of the curse.
Okay.
And so she's this is probably what we're dealing with here.
Okay.
And she sort of says, she's so whatever this is, it's big. It's big and it's powerful, and if they're drawing from this Methuselah, who is using, no doubt corrupt Bahari magic, then it's a big deal. And she's Lilith does not command to kill lightly, but this guy seems like a guy who needs to be known.
Yeah. Would it be possible for Cadence to reach out to some people she might know back in Boston? I know she didn't really have a lot of strong ties there, but if she knew of anyone within the Anarchs who had any sort of blood sorcery knowledge. She's definitely not going to ask in Atlanta because blood bonds and all that. But hope, if there's anyone back on her old home turf she might be able to reach out to, she would do that.
You can send some messages out. I believe I've mentioned before that the general Anarch method of communicating between cities involves a sort of a black box laptop that travels from city to city. So you can send the message out. It might take a little bit to hear.
Actually, she would probably send Benji up there.
Okay.
To try to she thinks that might be a little bit faster, and also would get him out of Atlanta, so she knows he's kind of safe.
Indeed, he's up for a road trip.
All right. She'll
he's like, he's getting ready. He's all on board from it, but there is that awkward conversation of, I'm going to fucking Boston. We're gonna need to figure out the thermos situation.
Right. So that's like a once. How often does that go off? Is it once a month?
Generally once a month.
Okay.
Is the maintenance of a ghoul.
Okay, so she doesn't think this trip will take a month, so she'll top him off beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, if you don't make any headway in the next 2.5 weeks, make the trip back and we can go from square one.
Cool. He says, yeah, and you also think, you know one person in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It's another Gangrel, who, if push comes to shove, you can probably trust him to give him the re-up if it's absolutely necessary.
Okay.
So that's probably who you send him to talk to.
Yeah, and she would like write out a letter and just be like, this person doesn't know you, but they will know this.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, you get him shipped up and sent off up to Boston to start looking and talking around that community.
Okay. Woo.
All right. So any other minor thing that you'd want to accomplish in the beginning weeks of October?
Just touch base with Reagan, see how she's holding up. Other than that, Cadence is good.
Yeah, she's holding up. She's fine. I mean, she actually, has classes that she has to deal with, and magical training and all that. She actually says, she's still working on those dream speaker buddies, but she actually lets you know that she's gonna have to go away for a bit. Not in the beginning of the month, but around October times, around Halloween times.
Okay.
She says there's something with her order that she has to go and do with Vivian.
That's fine. She has her responsibilities. Cadence appreciates the heads up.
So yeah, she lets you know, and yeah, so that's touching base with her. Okay, so first couple of weeks of October, Alex, what is his plan?
So the first thing he's going to do is obviously he's going to continue working on the stuff he was doing before. The next thing he's going to do is he is going to... Damn it, I was just thinking about what I was going to do and then I've lost it. He is going to...
Did it have to do with the Four Horsemen?
I did forget about that entirely. Yeah, so he's going to put some more thought into the Four Horsemen situation and try to, again, using the psychic powers that he has, he's going to try to figure out the connection that they have to the situation with Lord Blackheart, and if there's a way that he can conceivably use them as a counterbalance to what's going on.
Give me another premonition roll, since you're focusing on that roll that way.
Four successes.
4 successes. So the imagery is the same of when you focus on the sort of the political and dynamic landscape of Atlanta. When you sort of think about the Four Horsemen, you see they're on the board, but their pieces on the board aren't chess pieces. They're more like there's some board game, some older they're Monopoly pieces. They're on the board, but you can tell that they're not necessarily a part of the same game.
Okay.
So the intuition that you feel about that is that they are what they say on the tin. They're outsiders. They're neutral, which means that if there are any kindred non-Sabbat at least, who are not tied up in trans bullshit or the cams bullshit, who have some degree of independence and neutrality, it's them.
Interesting.
Okay. So yeah, that is the revelation you're able to glean about them.
Okay.
What else are you doing?
I'm checking in with all of my touchstones, just trying to hang out with them, see how they're doing, make sure that they're, still alive.
So, I mean, all of your touchstones are generally part of that community and scene, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're fine. Obviously, through them, you find out that the Axel brothers are still a thing. They're still around. They're still a part of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
That they have their various reputations, but they are also, that you find that they're growing in strength. That whatever backing they have, which you have your suspicions about the backing, it's not going away. And they are making themselves known in the places where you feed and you spend your time, and kindred like you spend their time, and they're becoming more and more of an irritant. And you sort of independently verify this when you check in with your touchstones. Their business is improving, and they're getting into more parties, and they're taking a more active role in the scene.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear.
Don't worry, I was meaning to pursue a little something with those guys. So.
Yeah, but when you say you're going to pursue something with somebody, I don't necessarily know what that means, because you're.
It means.
She started dating the hunters.
Damn Toreadors!
Daggum Toreadors!
We only ever think about ourselves. Usually unsuccessfully.
But yeah, that's what you get when you touch with your touchstones. But they're generally fine. Like they you've done what you can to set them up in ways that they're comfortable and safe and whatnot. So
Okay.
yeah. So that's their general situation. Any other minor project that you would want to take care of in these opening months?
I'm going to perform the Valkyrie again with my gang.
I'm gonna generally assume that gets maintained at its current level until we get back into
Yeah.
regular play.
But now Ileana's there.
Yeah, she's gonna get involved in it, so we'll roll her into it when we need to.
She's like, oh, it's like being home.
Yeah, she's like, she does not frown at the Valkyrie. She much like Alex, it seems to be one of the things that she misses about being a part of that scene, and she's glad that she doesn't have to get away from it. Okay, Willow.
Hi. Okay. So here's
before we
oh
go
God.
here, speaking of that,
Okay.
it's around this time that Ileana does absolutely stop beating around the bush and just like she says, "Hey, you're my type."
And I'm like, it's okay. I don't know. You don't seem like you'll beat me enough. I don't think I can do this.
If it, safe, sane, and consensual, I'm down for it.
We'll see how I feel. Right now, my heart is kind of taken by another, but I think we're fighting.
She's like,
So we'll see. It's okay.
Just, I'm here.
Do you want me to step on you? I'll do that for fun.
She just smiles, and we'll put that content to the side for now. But yeah, she's just like she's
Casual that was.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's down with it. Right. So, what is Willow's early October projects?
All right. So she has a little list here. So, the first one is Madison. When he was spirited away, he did leave behind a lot of his stuff. I will be not not stealing from Madison.
Okay.
I'm borrowing Madison's stuff on his behalf because I know that he would want us to have that stuff, that money.
Okay. I would like a general up or down intelligence technology roll to break into Madison's laptop and bank accounts, basically.
No, I know.
If you need help breaking into someone's bank account, Cadence can help with that.
Hi, Scott.
Yeah.
Is my specialty in larceny. Will this help?
That'll apply.
Actually, no. Well, so I can either do a technology or larceny, but they're the same thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do one. I'll just do.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Add 2 dice, one for your specialty and one for Cadence's assistance.
Oh, thank you, Cadence. You're wonderful.
Also, she is perfectly happy forging his signature on whatever she needs to forge his signature on.
Listen, we are coterie. That's great. Oh, this was a really good roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
5 successes. That is a very good roll.
Madison, I feel like he understands wherever he's at.
So
We need to pay bills. He was paying the bills. He would not want those bills to go unpaid. Do you know what that would do to his credit score? He would hate to have his credit score drop. We are looking out for his best interests and us.
So, you're definitely able to get into his accounts. And you're able to get your hands on his money. And, you know, you do run into the fact that, you know, you have a portion of what is represented by the resource dots that were on Madison's sheet. And you have that. But there are bits and pieces of that in terms of, like, maintenance, cash flow, other things that, you know, are not directly accessible on the material that you have. So it's a limited pool. However, about a week after you crack into this laptop and get your hands on these bank accounts, you see that there are a series of not like ridiculously large, but not insubstantial deposits start to be made into this account. From routing numbers and bankings, from a couple different banks from from a couple places in Europe.
Oh, well, I suppose we as a whole we knew Madison had money, but we didn't necessarily know like where his money came from.
These accounts, these numbers, are
Yeah.
completely new. They're not coming from the same sources they were coming from before.
Okay, so Cadence is going to suggest that as those come in, we funnel them into something else on the off chance that someone gets suspicious and decides to freeze those funds. Because, like, that's weird activity, and
Yeah, who did he know in Europe?
yeah,
Unless
like,
they're
this
using
is, she's very
a separate
suspicious
bank. Yeah.
about this. Is someone here going to catch wind? Is someone over there going to catch wind? She just it's coming in. We need to make sure that it's going to stay where we need it to stay.
Yeah, we'll leave this.
You can absolutely divert these funds and put them in other places, but it seems like not on any sort of like pattern or regular schedule, but every now and then a deposit gets made into these accounts, coming from somewhere you don't necessarily know where it's from.
Okay.
Madison, even though he is gone, he leaves us with little mysteries.
Anyway, so yeah, that's an on and off project for a couple of weeks. What else is Willow trying to accomplish?
All right, so he asked about the 4 horsemen. Me and Alex probably do continue to talk about that. I'm sure, because at this point Willow is just sort of like, she is imagining the chessboard and is like, who's here? I'm trying to account for everything right now. And so she did definitely talk with Alex about, so should we talked to them. I know one of them came here and had you guys smear mud on your eyes. I remember that one. I don't remember the other ones. I don't think I met them.
I don't think we have either. Just the one.
Let's do that. Let's pencil that in. Let's schedule that in.
Okay, so you're wanting to get in contact with them.
Uh-huh. And my other thing was, this is just a question for Scott. Was Sasha Vikos's favor for Madison, or was it for the coterie?
It was for the coterie.
Okay.
And you got that confirmed through your Chaosid friend, that was in fact legit.
Excellent. Okay.
Speaking of which, at any point do you make good on your arrangement to provide him the photocopies of the Revelations of the Dark Mother, or provide him a name for your coterie?
Cadence would definitely get him photocopies.
Okay.
Like, whatever, that's not a big deal. Spend a weekend or a weeknight in a FedEx, just sure. Just slowly feeding quarters into the machine.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, you get that into his PO box essentially,
And then-
that is a thing that happens.
All right.
What
My
about
last.
the name? Do you guys ever come up with a name?
Oh God, naming is so hard. It's like no
Yeah.
matter what, it sounds
I got it.
cheesy.
I got it.
What is it, Alex?
The 85 Bears.
Okay, I want you to just explain it. Go ahead. Deconstruct it for me. You can't. You can't
No.
deconstruct it.
The fridge. A refrigerator. Something about the Super Bowl shuffle.
Alex, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I just saw a poster for the 85 Bears and it looked really cool and I wanted to be cool like them.
Well, what if we, picked a name? Because, Cabbage Town is our thing, yeah, but Cabbage Town sounds kind of weird.
It sounds bad.
It sounds bad. I can't think of a way to spruce it up.
Yeah.
If you tried to, abbreviate, you just get, CT. No, it doesn't work. I'm trying to think of something.
Well, you also have Reynoldstown and Edgewood are technically also part of your domain.
Alright.
This is like a continuous discussion every single day. It's just like, hey guys, so.
So what I'm hearing is no. I like it.
Can we just be those guys?
Those guys. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all.
Funny.
So yeah, all right. So as October begins to end, the later weeks of October, what is Cadence going to be up to then? Cadence.
She's the least big planny person of the group, so I guess she would probably, assuming she hasn't heard anything new from Reagan, and assuming she hasn't heard anything from Benji on the Boston front, and
they are both out of town during this part of the month, the year.
And assuming that she's not making any headway with Ileana on those symbols, then she's just gonna be like, okay, guys, give me something to do. I am I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
So do either Willow or Alex have anything they want to sick Gangrel Pal on?
Actually, maybe a little bit. You can be a little doggo, so you can probably skulk about.
Yeah, I'm good at skulking.
Willow wants to run surveillance on the Alex brothers. Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, those douchebags.
She is vaguely interested in them because of what they have, and also Alex has told her that they're fucking incompetent. And so those two things together sound like an easy mark. So if she can investigate them a little bit with Alex, that would help Willow, because that's what she's going to do at the next one.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that at any point she's going to kidnap one of them. I'm not saying that.
You're
But
not
what I'm
committing to
saying-
that right now, but it's implied.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's happening right now, but I'm saying at some point, maybe in the future, that will be happening.
Okay.
So we're just laying down the bricks to walk on later, you know?
Gotcha.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So would that be something that Cadence would throw herself into?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, she is looking for a way to be useful and to keep her hands busy.
So yeah, you are able to make yourself a presence around where these douchebags operate, which they are. They do security for raves and concerts and club events, and you sort of scope. You hunt the hunters who are hunting the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, you can tell that they seem to have a tidy operation, and they don't often like catch a kindred or do away with the kindred, but they're what they do and what they seem to be fairly good at is making these types of events hostile to kindred involvement. They make any party that they are a part of. The kindred of Atlanta seem to realize when they see that logo, it's not good hunting.
Okay.
Like you're gonna bad things happen if you try. So they that seems to be their modus operandi. You do from time to time see them make a hit and drag some poor bastard out of the party, and he gets thrown into a van and you don't know what happens to him after that.
No one she's recognized thus far, I hope.
No, there are some people you recognize. They're mostly like loner anarchs.
Okay.
Damn.
They operate south of 22, so you have no doubt that they get their fair share of Sabbat too. But in the places where you tend to go, you get anarchs who aren't necessarily tight with any particular gang, or are on the fringes of society, tend to be the ones that you see getting thrown into a van.
Okay. One night she might just decide preemptively. Unassuming little doggo walks up to a van, has some very sharp claws. Suddenly, that van doesn't have any tires anymore.
That is a thing that you can accomplish.
She wouldn't make a habit of it. She would do it maybe once or twice, just because.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, would there be any other sort of minor project that Cadence would want to accomplish around Halloween time?
Well, she remembers that.
Want to get hold of Nikki?
She's gonna wait. If Alex wants her to and thinks the time is right, she will.
I actually want to end our sort of padding up to December. I want to end it on that because I'd like that to be I would like to disrupt any plans for the next game that Scott already had by doing that.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a jerk.
Well, wag my finger. The next arc was probably going to be pretty player-driven, James. So, meh. But, hey, that actually sounds like a good plan. And, maybe we'll have a special guest to join us for that game. We'll see. I need to write an email. Anyway, you can definitely maintain that relationship as you go.
And then also, she remembers that Alex said that Tran was eventually going to probably request meetings with Cadence and Willow, and so she's gonna just be like, so guys, is that something we should try to play on? I know I joked about putting a camera in my hat, but do we want to get some sort of hard evidence?
I was 100% serious about the sternum microphone.
Okay, yeah,
You have to let me cut you with a scalpel.
To date, none of you have been, your presence has not been requested to date.
Okay, well, we could
I'm not good with a scalpel. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, because I'd be willing to do it, and I could probably make a case for getting a meeting with him myself and see if anything happens. Be like, oh, I'm worried because Madison not being here is total balls, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. See if he bites out.
Sure, come to my warehouse, and I'll put a device in you. I'll take it right out afterwards.
Okay.
But I will warn you, I when I did this in the past, someone else had the scalpel. So it'll probably be a little rough getting in there.
Dude, I've been in my share of knife fights. I don't care.
If that's how you feel, then I probably absolve myself of
If
any
you
guilt.
have this conversation anywhere around Ilyana, she will like just sort of raise a hand, like,
Yes, Eliana?
I know my way around the human body.
Would you like to cut open her sternum? I mean, you just really have to get under it.
Like kind of like a dermal piercing, I would think. Like that, or a little deeper.
A little bit deeper.
Okay.
Guys, don't threaten me with a good time.
I mean,
And
listen,
suddenly you're creepy again.
I will go to my garage right now. I am ready to do it.
Okay. Innuendo aside, Ilyana is actually a fair hand with not necessarily a scalpel, but she can. It's a bit less medical and a bit more ritualistic.
Well,
But she can, she can basically get you a nice place to put to install such a mic.
okay, so you're just gonna heal this up and just like forget about it. It's not on.
How do I turn it on?
I'll turn it on.
Oh, so does it have like a battery? Do I have to worry about the battery going dead?
No,
Okay.
it's like a fucking pacemaker. Don't get in an EKG machine.
I don't
Um,
have any plans to.
Yeah, then you should be fine. I wouldn't leave it in there long term or anything. I don't know what would happen, but
Hmm.
longest
So that's-
I've known it's been in a dead body 6 months.
Alright.
Look it out. The guy died.
All right. So that's set up. But we're gonna move on to Alex. So round Halloween times. It's a dead man's party. Who could ask for more? What does Alex get up to?
Well, he definitely throws a big concert for Halloween. And he's going to donate most of the proceeds of the concerts to the local homeless LGBTQ youth.
Mm-hmm.
And what remains of that money is going to go to sort of shoring up some of what Madison left behind.
Okay.
Basically, he's mostly going to give that money to Willow and be like, I don't know if you can save Madison stuff. I don't know how to do it. But here's a bunch of money.
Do you just give it to me in cash? Or what?
Yeah, like big stacks of cash.
Fuck, I love stacks.
Okay. Yeah, no, you absolutely do throw one hell of a rager. So what I'm gathering by this is that you guys had a couple plans on the board. You think Madison was going to turn this place into another community center, but what I'm hearing is that the warehouse area is turned into like a party event space.
I
That's
love
what
that.
I'm hearing.
/ community center
Yeah.
for at-risk youth.
There you go. I love it. So
It was a speakeasy once, it just goes back to its roots.
That part is hidden away. But that is easily accomplishable with the resources that you have, as well as the regular infusion from the mystery infusions from Madison's accounts. But yeah, no, that's absolutely something you can do, and you sort of begin the process of reshifting your influence, as well as doing some positive outreach in the area. Anything else that he's focusing on around Samhain?
Samhain.
Sour, gotcha.
He is going to probably be trying to get in good with the ministry guys, just hang out with them and whatnot, because I have a feeling they're going to be pretty pissed off when they find out what Tran is doing too.
Okay.
So he's just trying to get in there, and so he can
Yeah, you touch base with them, and they are open doors to you. And anyone's welcome to come to Snake Church. But yeah, you compare notes with them, and you don't think that they absolutely knew what was going on, but it doesn't surprise them in the slightest. And, they're obviously not happy about it at all. And, they absolutely reiterate, we're down to solve this problem. With the understanding that when things get reshuffled, they are going to be a part of the operation of the movement in this city in a bigger way than they are now.
Right on.
So yeah, I mean, like it is not hard at all to secure that line of alliance. They're very open to it.
Right on.
Okay. So Willow.
Hi.
Something I'd like to mention as we get into the end of October. You haven't necessarily been poked or approached or anything along those lines, but you think that now would be a really good time to provide Damas some actionable information if you were intending to actually maintain that facade.
That's what sort of information do I have so far about my my Second Inquisition computer?
Oh yeah, you definitely have. Yeah, you were able to. Your operative, on his short-term contact, that you paid top dollar for, he is eventually able to crack into that machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't contain all of the plans and passwords and
just a
and
machine.
whatnot. It's a very purpose-built machine, but he is able to essentially give you a complete rundown of the software architecture as well as the hardware. What this thing does. He's like, no, this definitely has government all over it. And like he gives you as complete a technical rundown of how this thing operates and sort of the fingerprints that are on it in terms of how the software was built, how the hardware was built, how the proprietary stuff was put together. So,
that is the information that I'm going to be using to buy more time.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure that if he's old, well, he probably has someone, but how decipherable that information is, I don't know how much he knows.
Right.
But if I give that to him, it seems like maybe more. It really depends.
You can definitely sell that as something actionable and something valuable because it most certainly is. Like if he can't capitalize on it, the Camarilla as a whole can definitely profit from it. So he definitely does take that when you slide it his way without much of a fuss. But you definitely get the read that whatever you provide next time better be more local and applicable to the kindred political situation in Atlanta.
Willow smiles to herself, just like, yeah, I bet it will be.
So yeah, you're able to make that handoff, and you pay your guy. Do you just let this guy on his way?
He is signing so many NDAs. Oh my god.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna pay him with Madison's money.
Okay, that's doable. You kind of tap out what's available in the Madison Fund for a little bit, paying him off.
Thank you, Madison.
Because that is a serious business. He actually, when you're finalizing that relationship, did you ever does he know what you look like, or did you deal with him through proxies?
Let me think. He probably talked to me over the phone, mostly. He might have had, maybe a video call.
Okay.
But I probably didn't interact with him too much in person.
So when you're having one of your final interactions with this guy, he says something strange happened while I was sort of buttoning things up.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bit of... Obviously, it never got connected to any network.
Okay.
But I found a file on it that I don't think was there before.
Interesting.
I can... definitely I can forward it to you. It's in a very, very quarantined thumb drive that I can pass off to you. But I don't know where this file came from. If I had to guess, it might have been some buried subroutine that generated it.
Okay.
But
I'll be looking into it independently. If I need your help again, I will definitely call you. And I'm sure you'll definitely come back.
hey, this has been one of the more interesting and lucrative assignments that I've had for the past couple of years, so absolutely.
Fantastic.
I really would like to be able to put this on my resume, though.
Sorry. Can't do that.
We'll see. Well, if you
It's okay. If you want to, you can say that we can arrange something, and then I give him the number to the CEO of my security company, and I say contact him. He can figure something out in regards to that. He's that kind of guy.
Cool.
Awesome.
So that relationship pretty much ends professionally and without much hassle or fuss. You do eventually get, when the trade-off happens, there is kind of like in a little like kind of Faraday cage envelope, like it's got wire mesh around it, and a little tiny battery that runs a little electromagnetic field around it. A thumb drive is delivered along with the device.
Thank you.
Like paranoia level security measures on it.
Oh yeah, when I look at it, it's gonna be in a paranoia level fucking concrete room.
If he
Okay.
like a laptop that you plan on bricking after anyways.
Oh yeah, she has a couple of those.
Okay, so what else are you accomplishing at the end of October?
She will be setting up or trying to find any sort of way to contact Indra. So at this point,
could you repeat that? I didn't hear what that said.
she wants to try to contact Indra.
Oh, okay.
So the thought for her right now at this point is, we know that there's some sort of there's seven cult members, and I think, did we say 7 or was it
I think
9?
There's 9.
There's 9.
From what Madison told you, there were 8 other people.
And then
in
plus
masks.
him. So we, as a coterie, are aware of 4?
Mm-hmm.
Before she starts making moves and cashing in big favors, she wants to know who the other ones are.
Okay.
And she knows that Indra in the past has been, much like Alex, a little psychic. And she feels like Indra owes her in like a really weird sort of, in like a direct sort of way. We just never made it official. And so she's going to try to leverage that.
Okay. So you get, as to your best of your ability, a message to her using the channels that you had established. And it takes about a week to hear back from her. And she says, the gist of what she says to you is that she will absolutely get in touch with you and arrange a meeting, but that it's very, very complicated to do so. And that, she asks you to trust her, and she will get in contact with you as soon as that is possible.
Excellent. Yeah, that's really, out of my long-ass fucking list of things that Willow needed to do during downtimes, I think I covered pretty much all of them.
Okay.
I set up I'm working towards a kidnapping. I'm working towards an assassination. I'm trying to find out who the 9 are. So I feel like I'm on the tracks.
Okay, cool. All right, so November begins. Cadence, Benji does return from Boston, and he lets you know that he made some contact with people. It was difficult because he's cool and he's not anyone from their school, but he says your friend was very helpful, and he essentially lets you know that he can't guarantee it, but he got someone to say that they'll come down here, in January.
Awesome.
He's just like, I don't know if they were being legit with me.
Tell me everything you know about him.
He's like, he basically rattles off. He was this kind of he was definitely, he seemed like he was a big spooky magic guy. He seemed to be down with all the other anarchs that were there. He said that if he shows up, you're going to owe him quite a bit for this.
Do you have a name?
He's all like, yeah. His name is Malpheus.
Okay. What do I need to roll to see if I know that name?
That'll be intelligence politics.
Okay. 1, 2.
Oh no.
Alright. This is 2 dice I'm rolling here. That I got 2 successes on.
Okay.
That is the second best roll I could get.
Last you heard that name, you heard about him. He was definitely a Tremere. He was a Cam Tremere. Last you heard that name. But he was the Cam Tremere that was clearly on the low end of the pyramid. And would slum with anarchs when he could.
Awesome.
So maybe when the pyramid shattered, he got out. But that's what you know about him.
Okay, so she'll be like, yeah, cool. Do I have a way to contact him, or am I just waiting for him to show up on the front door?
He says he did not commit to any kind of schedule. He just said he'd show up around January if he could do it.
Okay. And you let him know how to get in contact with me directly, right?
No. He knows how to
Okay.
get in contact with me. I didn't think you wanted me to go throwing your
That's fair. Well, you are my direct line, so no, that makes sense.
Also, it's Malpheus, D. It's not Malpheus. I'm not that cheesy. Sorry, I'm watching the chat. TH, not Fiat. No F. Anyway. So yeah, you get in contact with him. He says that, that's as set up as it can be.
Awesome. Yeah, no.
And Regan comes back into town as well. There's something definitely different about her when she comes back.
Okay.
She is a little bit more guarded, but she basically tells you, yeah, we did some big time magic stuff and some things happened that, I'm not really at liberty to talk about. But she's still very much a part of your life and whatnot. But you can tell whatever she did over the end of October, it was something serious.
Okay. Well, she just lets Reagan know that she doesn't have to say anything about it, obviously, but if she, needs to get away from mage stuff,
she's like,
Cadence is just, willing to hang out.
She's, totally welcome about that. Hold on. Let me see if there's a...
It's you want to go see a movie? You want to, actually do, stuff? that normal people do.
She is totally down for that. If you'd like to give me a wits insight roll.
Okay. I would love to do that. That's 3.
So, Cadence, you're able to pick up. You've seen this look in people's eyes before.
Mm-hmm.
It's the look of people who have recently experienced their first real encounter with violence.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You know, some like whatever she went through, it was significantly violent and
Okay.
and whatnot. You see the signs on her.
All right. So yeah, she's not going to ask any questions. She's going to be like, okay, like, you want to go to the movies? You want me to, like, take you out for coffee or ice cream or something? Like,
Totally down. She wants to see the new Frozen movie. She like,
oh God.
yeah. She you know doesn't.
All right.
Doesn't
Awesome.
want to see anything too heavy.
Yeah.
But
No, that's fair.
she'll definitely go to the movies and hang out with you.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Any other projects in early November that Cadence would like to get?
If she can get access to the mirror up with the Setites, she would like to do so. Just get her hands on it, touch it, things like
Yeah.
to further her studies and trying to activate it.
They will let you access it. If you'd like to give me an intelligence occult roll to see how well you can deal with it.
Yep. Excuse me. That's 2.
2 successes. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is like from what you can tell, this is clearly a pretty potent magical artifact. It has all the signs. It is the legitness.
Mm-hmm.
As far as activating it, you think, as best you can tell, sort of the fundamental processes of it are keyed into very specific blood type.
Mm.
You think that this might be the sort of thing that only a kindred of a specific clan or line might be able to really access.
Okay, so it's pretty useless.
Yeah, and they let you know that basically they're going to have this until early December, and then it is going to be sent to Egypt.
Okay. Well, she's going to let them know, actually, because, like, she's like, listen, as far as I can tell, this is, like, useless to anyone who probably isn't in a very specific lineage. So I don't know if your folks are actually going to get any use out of it.
Eli, who's the one you're speaking to, says, like, we've divined as much ourselves, but these things can have uses beyond what they're actually intended for.
Okay. Is there, like, any way I could convince you to keep it here indefinitely? It's...
Fortunately, we have our obligations to the Mother Church.
Could you send them something else?
I'm sorry, but my one of our most respected elders has shown an interest in this.
Okay. And because it just totally went out of my head because I have mush for brains, when is that date? Remind the player.
The date that this is going away is sometime in early December.
Okay, alright. She's going to let the others know that. And that's probably going to be the extent of her activities for this month.
Gotcha. So, Alex, early November. What is Alex's plan?
Early November. I think the main thing that Alex would be trying to do is get a lay of the land. Like, I'm going to hang out with as many other anarchs as I can.
Okay.
do I get the feeling that they're all bloodbound to Tran, or is it just their gang leaders and they're kind of not loving this whole vibe?
I'm going to ask you to give me 3 wits insights rolls.
I can do that.
And if you, there is one of your bloodline powers lets you sense blood bonds, right?
Oh, right, yeah. No, I
don't know
forgot
if
about that. I could just smell them.
If you have, yeah, you can just smell it on them.
Yeah.
But I still want those 3 wits insight rolls.
Okay. Well, let me pull up my sheet real quick. Oh, it's a pretty good roll. So the first roll, I got 2 successes.
Okay.
Second roll, I got 4. And the third roll, I got 4.
Okay. So it's a little slow going as you try and suss this out. But as you sort of meet with more and more anarchs, you don't sense many blood bonds on like sort of the rank and file. When you do get close to a nominal gang leader, pretty much every time you're able to catch that whiff off of them, that they at least have somebody in them. As far as the general attitude is concerned, you get the general sense that everyone's mostly okay with the status quo. When you push a little bit, and like when you kind of when you ask the right questions, you get the sensation that every now and then the council makes a decision that seems to rub people the wrong way. Or they thought that they would they thought that they had enough pull or influence to get what they wanted, but it just didn't come out that way. You generally get the sensation that when push comes to shove, Tran gets his way with the leaders of the gangs.
But I don't spot any people that are like distinctly like, man, fuck this Tran dude.
You find people who are upset with the general situation. Like this has happened enough that you find like couple, maybe half dozen people in various gangs who are unhappy with the status quo enough to make their thoughts known about it. But you don't get the sense of there's like this roiling sense of let's depose the fucker. Pretty much everyone is on board with giving him the time that was agreed upon before there's another referendum. Like no one's looking to go against that agreement.
Okay.
But some people are starting to rankle under the fact that the Baron gets his way more often than not.
Yeah. Okay.
These fucking anarchs, man. Fuck.
Anyway, so anything else that Alex would like to accomplish in the beginning of November?
I'm going to try to, through music, specifically, if any of these specifically young anarchs, and even more specifically, any of the I forgot their names too, but the Thin Bloods,
Dustborn, yeah.
the Dustborn. I am going to try to, if any of them are super like interested in Alex's music, I'm going to invite them to like jam sessions, even if they don't play instruments, and sort of get them like, yeah, this is cool, whatever, and sort of like, because Alex is a famous musician, so he's gonna. But what I'm actually doing is I'm going to be trying to, and this is going to be really threading the needle here, but I'm going to be trying to very subtly foment aggression towards Tran.
Okay.
Ooh.
You can start those wheels going. We'll probably deal with that when we come back around to you next.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
All right. So, Willow, beginning of November, what's your plans?
Hi. So beginning of November. Right now she is going to begin doing more research in general on Cam territory
Okay.
and she's just on the lookout for who's who
Mm-hmm.
and like traffic of kindred, essentially.
Right.
And so, right, she's going to be just doing a lot of surveillance. She knows generally who's in the Anarchs.
Right.
She does not know a lot about Cam stuff.
Okay.
And so she's going to be putting her feelers out there to learn as much about that side of the field as she can.
Okay. I'm going to have you make those same rolls that we had for getting info on Tran.
All right.
So a streetwise an investigation and a technology. These are all going to be at a +1 difficulty, though.
Yeah, I bet.
So just take one success off the top, basically.
That first one is 3, so it's 2.
Okay.
That first one is also 3, so it's 2 again. And then that last one is a technology, so I get an extra 5.
Actually, this one's going to be the +2 difficulty.
This one's going to be at a +2?
Yeah.
Alright, so let me see. 3 again, 1 success. So that one was the least successful.
So as best as you can tell, the cams stay in their domain.
Mm-hmm.
They
Can you-
have-
So, do you have, like...
Yeah, no, I don't have it at hand right now, but there is I believe I did share a document with you at the beginning of the game that outlined what specific territories were Cam and Anarch.
Okay.
But they stay in their domains. They generally have very well hidden and well protected havens. You've
Yeah.
done some work on this before, though. I mean, you have a baseline to go off of.
Yeah.
But you have to give this to the Cam. They take the Masquerade
Seriously.
They are not as on the street or in the limelight as Anarchs tend to be.
Yeah.
It's hard to find them through technology. It's hard to trace their movements.
Alright.
You definitely get the most success when you try and stake out around Elysium, which the main Elysium is the Georgia Aquarium. So you get the most confirmed hits when you set up surveillance around there. That seems to be like the biggest vein of sources of, I know this person, I've seen this person before. Like you get the most data around Elysium because that's where they all go.
Yeah.
When they go, otherwise they seem to be very skilled at slinking back to their havens through secure channels. You think you might have to spend a little more time on this to really get anything juicy.
Yeah. That's why I anticipated that this is, like, this in particular is going to be multiple months of the same fucking roll.
I'm assuming you also take some very secure measures to get at that thumb drive and take a look at that file.
Yeah, I imagine that at some point I'm just like, all right, well, let me get in this little concrete room with the computer.
Give me a straight intelligence technology roll to see how well you set up your firewall.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 5.
Okay. You think that you, through the means that you have at your disposal and all of your technical skill, you set up as close to a perfect black box environment to examine this file. And when you do, it's a bit anticlimactic because, as best as you can tell, it's a simple text file.
What does this say?
And it's very small. So when you are certain that this thing won't, somehow magically, reveal your location or explode or do whatever, you're able to open it up and read what it says. And what it says is a very terse message that says, "Impressive, reality deviant. your case has been escalated. Now, I don't think Willow has any basis of knowing what that phrase means. Yeah, it's just a weird-ass phrase. But that's what you get.
She just spends like a long time just looking at it like, maybe it's an anagram? I don't know.
I'm
smart, but I'm not that
able
smart.
to type it out and do it on another computer, run it through some anagrams. There's nothing intelligible about it. Doesn't seem to be any code or anything like that. It just seems to be a weird ass phrase.
I don't know what it means.
Okay.
I'm fucking stumped, Chief, she says in an empty room to herself.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. Anything else that she wants to accomplish in the early weeks of November?
Has her ex gotten back on social media? How's he doing? He's probably also moved into her.
He's gotten back on social media.
Cool.
You can definitely see the signs of him starting to track you down.
Cool, because if he has cameras in his house, I'm spying on him. I have a problem. I have an addiction.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this guy's no slouch.
he's not.
You're pretty sure he's been out of the life for a while.
Yeah.
But now he's a dog with a bone.
Mm-hmm.
And
he has a reason.
As you're watching him, you're seeing signs of him calling up old contacts and calling in some favors, and he's onto you. You get sort of hits on some programs that keep an eye on your digital and security presence. You're pretty sure he has figured out that your death certificate is bogus.
Mm-hmm.
Back in LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's on the hunt. He's got your scent. He's not. He doesn't have you, but you know he's looking.
The thrill of the chase. That's bad. Okay. Let me think. I've probably at this point, my house is probably almost done being renovated. I'm probably gonna start moving some boxes in there.
Yeah. No, that's.
And generally now.
Yeah, the wheels on that have been turning. Your independent haven is very well set up.
Because now that this one is sort of turning into a party place, she hates it.
Love it.
She hates it, and she wishes she could take our bug and take with her, but she just can't. Actually, she probably should ask. Maybe she should ask the Setites about the fucking bug.
That is a thing you can do.
I might do that next month. Let me see. We're in November. We're till December.
Yeah. As you are going uncomfortable with the presence of mortals that seem to be around in the party place, you actually you spend a not insignificant time with Ileana. It's not making her comfortable either.
Yeah, it's not great.
Her she's not poster child for the Sabbat, but she doesn't spend time with mortals. So she kind of makes the delightful lesbian overtures of, hey,
do you want to move in? do you want to? Yeah, no, I'll set you up. I hate it here. There's a lot of music.
It's less the fact that she's wants to move in with you and be your live-in bae. She just doesn't want to be around mortals. But,
fair.
Yeah.
Perfectly fair. Gosh, do you think if I crumble up the bug, do you think he'll generally fit inside of a duffel bag? What are the dimensions?
I have moved. I mean, we might have to take off a couple limbs.
We can put them in the thing.
Yeah, sure. I've moved kindred in duffel bags before.
I mean, yeah, all the time.
Do you want to fucking? Yeah, no. Let's bag him up.
Yeah, I want to take him. I don't want to leave him. He'll be lonely. 2, I want the Setites to look at him because maybe they can wake him up. You think?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want him to be here.
Cadence, did you share with the group that you?
I was just thinking I should let them know. She would let them know that, hey, I got a Tremere from Boston to come do some blood sorcery work for us, maybe. I can't make any promises, but hopefully he'll be able to help us crack the mystery of that mirror, which, by the way, is probably going away soon, unfortunately. And also, maybe you could help us with the bug.
Yeah, the bug. Yeah. I guess Madison is in the mirror, so yeah.
Willow, do you let your friends know about your plan to relocate the bug, or is this just a thing that happens?
Just one day, the bug who is usually in like a sports jersey on a chair, just one day isn't there anymore. He's with me now.
Oh boy. Okay, that is a thing that you can do. It is probably the weirdest thing you've ever moved. But you're able.
I don't know if that's true.
You're able, like, it's not too hard to like crack off a couple of limbs and pack them in a pretty large.
Put him in a fucking Adidas bag.
And like wrap that in a sheet of like tarp to make sure that it doesn't get fucking but yeah, you are able to extricate the bug man. All right, so
Actually, Scott, before we advance,
sure.
now that she has like a date that someone might be coming to help her with the mirror stuff, she would again like to reach out to the ministry and be like, hey, can I ask you to put this off until the end of January? Tell me what I will owe you. I will try to make it happen, but just delay it like a month.
Okay. They take that request. They say they'll throw this up the line. A couple days back, you basically get told that it will be 2 minor boons owed to Pesharuhas.
Done. Madison's worth it.
God. Oh my god.
I don't know who that is. Cadence doesn't know who that is, but it's for Madison, so it's worth it.
I very much know who that is. Oh god.
If you would like to roll intelligence politics to recognize that name,
All of the
and if
two dice.
If you share that with your coterie, they can make that roll as well.
Sure, why not? She's like, who's this motherfucker that they want me to owe shit to? I got a crit. And
Nice.
it's a bestial crit because I only have 2 dice and they're both hunger dice. Or messy crit.
Noted. Is anyone else going to make that roll when she drops that name?
I wonder if.
Yeah, I'll make it with my also 2 hunger dice.
Yeah, you should make it.
I only got 0 successes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not Willow's scene. I feel like there's. Yeah.
I don't know where Cadence would have picked this up, but apparently she picked it up somewhere.
So, Cadence.
Mm-hmm.
Moments after you impulsively make this deal, you remember you heard a story at one of like a Gangrel meetup about how this guy Hesheru and luminary of your clan Beckett have a very fraught relationship. And that it is one of those things of, yeah, don't fuck with this guy. And that, given Beckett's reputation, and given the fact that like multiple Gangrel attest to the fact that you should never fuck with this snake, that actually that something about that information sends you into kind of a panic spiral. It's not a good feeling when you realize the deal you just made.
It's for Madison. Madison's worth it.
Gotcha. Okay.
I hope he feels the same way wherever he is.
She's just thinking, she's like, God damn it, Madison, if you were out there, you owe me big time.
Somewhere on a Disney cruise.
I am
just
punching
like,
you in the face and you will owe me more.
But they do agree to hold the mirror in Atlanta until your expert can take a look at it.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, we're going to move into our last time period, which is the beginning of December. And we're going to go to Cadence.
Yes.
So that deal in hand, what does she want to accomplish as the months turn cold-ish? Because, James, you'll remember what this December was like. It wasn't a winter to speak of, because climate change.
Yeah, because the world is dying.
Yeah, she's like, well, there's no snow. What is this? I'm confused. Why is there no slush? Why is it not cold? Oh, right. The South. She's blaming it on the South.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I remember Decembers as a child where there was snow.
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore.
Yeah, but on the one hand, no terrible East Coast snowstorms, so there's that.
You know, not this year. It's coming.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Again, this is just going to be a month where she's making herself available to the coterie because big plans aren't her shtick.
Okay. So once again, does anyone have anything they'd like to say?
Unless you want her to try to push that Tran angle, considering she's got the mic in her. No.
Ooh.
I mean, you can, if
wouldn't
you so
hurt.
desire, get an audience with the Baron not too terribly hard.
Yeah. But she wouldn't want to do that, like, of her own accord. She want to, like, talk over what she's supposed to do with the others first.
Like, I'll turn it on if that's your intention to go in there and do it. I'll fucking turn it on. Go there and do what you gotta do.
Okay, but, like, I just need to know how to spin it to try to get him to, like, incriminate himself.
If he's going to try to do anything to you, it will sound like a command.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say to you, Alex? What exactly did he say to you?
He said drink. He opened a vein and said drink.
So, I mean, that feels pretty incriminating.
Yeah, I mean, also, just keep in mind that when we break the blood bond with Nikki C may remember. He may not.
I mean...
Like to have a backup plan, you know?
Yeah.
No. Well...
Okay, so like I said, you can get a meeting with Tran fairly easily. What I'd like to know, before we resolve this, Willow,
Yes.
is how much resources did you put into this particular tech setup? Like how ham did you go when you put this bug together?
Let me think. It's probably something that she's done before in Los Angeles.
So this is
So-
basically a binary question.
Yes.
Did you put enough resources into it that you would probably be on the back foot when we come back into normal play from a resource perspective, or not?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. I'm gonna make a rule. So yeah, Cadence, you're able to get a meeting with the Baron, but that determines a roll that I have to make.
Okay.
Okay. So you have a brief meeting with the Baron, Cadence,
Right?
and what business do you what is the sort of the because he doesn't ask for you.
Right.
So what pretense are you putting forth to have this meeting?
Okay, so I've got one of two plans here, and she would put these forth to the group, just in general, see which one was better. One is to express concern about Madison's absence and the place that the coterie has without him, because she doesn't understand that world as much and can probably make a pretty reasonable case for being very confused and very worried about how they're faring on that front.
Yeah.
The other would be to express frustration with the continuing truce with the Camarilla and feel like, she was brought here for a reason and she's not able to fully, utilize her purpose as a punchy person because there's no one to fucking punch. Which one do you think is better?
Willow would probably suggest to you that you could also talk about the kidnappings. The kindred kidnapping.
Oh, right. Okay, and why isn't anything being done about it?
Are just sitting there and being like, this is who's kidnapping, and I think I saw so-and-so
Okay,
snatched.
that's actually real good.
Resources need to be put into this, Mr. Baron.
All right, that's actually good. I'll go with that.
Okay. So yeah, that is something that he's willing to speak with you about. And so what's your general... How do you present this to them? Is this like a brash fuck you? Are you going hat in hand? What's your tactic?
So she is going, and she is not going to be accusatory towards him, but she is going to be impatient. She's going to say, I have seen this shit happen. Something needs to be done about it. What is something reasonable that
we can
do about it? And, sort of give the impression that, she's probably going to do something about it, whether he's okay with it or not. So, but she's giving him the courtesy, this is happening and something is going to get done. This is your chance to have a hand in it. Yeah, this is your chance to have a hand and dictate.
Okay.
So,
And if he really, really doesn't want her to do it, then maybe that will trigger something along the lines of what we're looking for.
Okay.
So, the way he responds to this, is he basically says, well, this is clearly something important to you. So if this is something you'd like to take upon yourself, to get ahead of, then by all means, you have the barony's blessing to get your nose into this. The Second Inquisition is, of course, everyone's problem. And if you suspect that these Axel brothers are an arm of the Second Inquisition, by all means. That being said, we don't want to poke the hornet's nest. We don't want to, by way of digging into this and trying to do something about it, call down the thunder on all of us.
So we're just supposed to let people just get yoinked off the streets
No,
they don't fucking matter?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're clearly passionate about this. This is clearly something you want to get taken care of. So I am more than willing to let you take a point on this. I'm more than willing to put some resources at your disposal. But you're going to have to report in.
Okay.
You're going to have to keep the domain in the loop. And you're going to have to be ready to, if myself or the council thinks that you are about to start a firestorm, you're going to have to be willing to pull back at a moment's notice.
I suppose I can agree to that.
I would like you to roll in intelligence resolve.
Okay.
Hold on. No. There's a specific roll for that. Oh yeah, I think it's... Damn it. We did this at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, intelligence resolve, sorry.
Two.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't expect she's gonna...
Alright, and go ahead and make that roll again.
Oh. Okay.
would you like to roll willpower?
On
either of those.
I can't because the only successes I got were on non-hunger dice. So
Ooh, fuck.
yeah, her pool for that isn't great. But that's what the mic is for. So we have a record of this.
Yep.
Indeed. So you engage in small talk. You go over particulars. You certainly don't remember being forced to drink his blood. I will say that. When you review the recordings from this, most of the recording comes through.
Okay.
But round the end, there was some pretty serious interference.
Okay.
It's not just complete noise, but the recording instrument, something interfered with the recording instrument when the end of the conversation happened.
Huh. She's just like sitting there, like replaying it, like in the haven for everyone.
Might
Like,
be able to throw some resources at this to try and get something out of that.
yeah, she's probably gonna try to run that through some programs.
Since I'm an audio guy, can I try to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
You can. You think it might take some... You think, like, whatever this did fucked this track up real hard. You might need to get your hands on some special equipment and some special software to really get into the sort of the waveform.
Cool. I'll give Willow a list of the software and equipment that I need.
I'll fucking get it too.
So, yeah. We're nearing the end of our session. So I will say that if there's anything that anyone would want to specifically take care of at the beginning of December, let me know and we'll resolve that as quickly as possible.
Got a lot done.
Quite a bit done.
No, not that I could think of.
Just more. I'm
gonna buy some shoes for my presentation to the cam.
If nothing else, I'm going to assume that you. That is one thing. What do you slide over to Damas, Willow, in terms of your blood money, essentially?
My blood money for that one.
You're nearing the end of the 3 months.
Of the 3 months, yeah, no fucking joke. Let me think. What kind of stuff did we take care of that can be sold for right now? Let me see. I could probably all the dirt I got on the people who've been kidnapped by those guys, but I think that's about it.
That's not gonna cut it.
That's not gonna cut it. No.
I will give you an intelligence politics roll if you'd like to.
Of course. Oh, there you are. I was like looking for it, like Oh, good. 3.
You have the best intelligence that you think can be mustered on Baron Tran. And
about where he goes, huh?
You have.
I sure do.
You have solid tactical information on him that you certainly are planning to use against him.
I'm going to give it to them, but I'm going to give it to them a little altered.
Okay.
Not significantly, but a little.
Noted.
So
yeah, I mean, he's not overjoyed when you give that. It's actually, give me a wits insight roll.
Wits insight, not a great roll for Willow. I think I got a red skull and a red success.
Okay.
So I don't know how to read
He
these
doesn't
dice.
seem particularly overjoyed, but he accepts it as good information. You can't really tell. He seems to just have a good poker face when he accepts this information.
Well, I'm sure I'll be hearing all about it when I'm publicly humiliated in the town square, as Toreador are wont and love to do.
But yeah, in general, what I'm going to assume that you guys continue to patch the holes in your influences and resources that are left to you by the departure of Madison.
Mm-hmm.
And that will... You think that by the middle of December, that you guys are as close to back on your full foot as you possibly can without the resources and active engagement of a fourth coterie member.
Yeah.
So you think you're on as good a foot as you can, given that there's only 3 of you. Well, 4 of you, but Ileana's a weirdo who doesn't really deal with mortal shit.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5 kindred.
But yeah, and that is your status quo when we roll into the next arc.
Wait, can that be our name? 3.5 kindred.
Cute, I like it.
Once more, we're in the fucking living room, just like, no, I don't like 3.5 kindred.
I love that this is where we're ending it in terms of just that. I love that the argument is the thing. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and end it for the night.
Thank you.
When we come back, which may or may not be on our regular date, because we are going to be attempting to find a 4th coterie member, or a 4th player for the group, and we might need to take that time to do a session 0.5 with our new coterie member. So definitely check the Facebook, check the Twitter. I'll be updating everybody on that. We are looking for a 4th player. If you have any particular interest to play out there in Twitch and YouTube land, shoot me an email, simulacratv@gmail.com, and we can talk. I'll be reaching out to some other people to see if they're interested. Hopefully we'll have a 4th member by the time we come back. But I would like to announce that the name of our next arc is going to be Equinox. And that will be, once again, another player-driven arc. So we'll see what these kids get up to.
All of the shenanigans.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to plug out to the internet?
I'll let you guys go. I need to think about it. I'm not sure if I have anything or not.
Once again, I take art commissions. You can find me at MCK Does Art on Facebook.
Those links are definitely in the show in the YouTube description. Mo, anything?
I got nothing, Chief.
Oh boy. James, can you think of anything? I don't know. You're a pretty easygoing guy that doesn't have a lot going on.
I don't have a lot going on, you know. I've mentioned it a couple of times before, but the Midnight World, which was played, the very first actual play of the game, was streamed on Simulacra TV a few weeks ago. It is my brother and I, our take on horror in a world where PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health disorders are a real thing that must be dealt with in what we like to think of as a healthy manner. We are kickstarting right now. We started our Kickstarter last week. Our funding goal was $15,000, and we fully funded in 22 hours. Now we've got a ton of really cool stretch goals. Actually, we're $400 short of hitting the stretch goal that allows Eddie Webb, creator of Pugmire, author on Vampire the Masquerade, Chicago by Night, Cult of the Blood Gods, really well-known author that has been working in RPG industry for over 20 years. He is going to write a story, a story campaign module that will go in our book if we can get $400 more in the next 24 days. So please drop by, sling a bit of cash at us. We're really excited with what we've built here, and we think you guys will be too.
I am actually putting a link to your Facebook page in the chat right now.
Nice.
And give me a second. I'll put one to the Kickstarter too.
You're the best.
Because we want you to have that stuff all good. And there will definitely be links to that in the show notes.
And I think that you and I have discussed that we are probably going to do another actual play at some point in the near future.
That is the plan. We are going to be working on that. Once again, watch our Twitter and Facebook feeds because we are planning on doing another actual play. And I think I'm going to be running a game of the Midnight World for you.
Yep. I'm excited about it.
And whoever we manage to con into my studio space. And I believe my plan is to run a custom setting to showcase the fact that you can run a custom setting in the Midnight World. And it's going to be real goddamn weird.
I love it.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be weird. But anyway, I put the links there in the chat, and they will be in the show notes and the YouTube description and all that good stuff. I say show notes because I'm used to saying show notes because I'm on a podcast that has show notes. But what I mean is the description of the YouTube video.
Right on.
Absolutely. I believe we're going to be attempting to do an interview with you and your brother on Polyhedron as well.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yep.
But right now what we have to do is thank the patrons. Absolutely 100% thank you, patrons, for supporting the studio, supporting the show. If you want to become a patron, you can go to Simulacra Studios. No, wait, no, that one, right there. That link, right down there. Patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. Become a patron of the show. And you can also support us by subscribing to the Twitch channel, by throwing us bits. I don't mess with any monetization on YouTube because that's a fool's game. And no one should take that seriously. But if you want to support us on Patreon or on Twitch, we'll take it and we'll appreciate it. In particular, I want to thank Miss Mo Ferrer, Mr. James Davey, Mrs. Adam Peterson, Mr. David Dodd, Mr. Michael Tyson, Mr. Eric Ramos, who are my $5 patrons on Simulacra Studios. Man, I love that constant. And James, yeah, that's right. I said James. Man, I love that constant cash flow. It lets me buy cool stuff without spending my actual real money. Anyway, from all of us here at Simulacra Studios and Burn It Down, goodbye, we love you, and let's say it all together.
Fuck Nazis!
Good night, everybody.
Night.